recently received a text message from a friend who has been engaging with Mormon missionaries, coming over to his house, and he was telling me about the conversation and said the missionary asked him, is it possible that Mormonism could be true? And he replied, yes, I think it's possible, but I don't really think it is true. And they asked me, well, how would I respond in that situation? And so what I told him is I would say the same thing. I think I would say to the Mormon missionary first that yes, it's possible that Mormonism is true. And I would want to communicate kind of an open-mindedness to the truth, because I want to model that for the Mormon, because I want them to also have that same open-mindedness to the truth, because eventually I'm going to get to the point where I show them we have contradictory truth claims here that both can't be right. So we both can't be right about this. And I want them to be open to changing their mind. So I want to model an openness, and certainly, just logically, it's possible that Mormonism is true. So I would say, yeah, it's possible that Mormonism is true. But before I would say, well, but I don't think it's true, I think I'd take another step, and here's what I would do. I would ask them the question. I'd kind of turn the questioning back on them and ask the Mormon missionary, my Mormon friends, I would ask them, well, how would you know if something's true? And see how they would answer, and kind of do an epistemological investigation with them, right? Just find out, what do they think about knowing and how we can know things? How do we come to know the truth? And so I might ask them specific questions. Well, how do you know historical truths, right? Like if you're in the university or a classroom, a professor is going to talk to you about history. Well, how would you know, his historical claims are true or not? What are the processes? And so I'd walk them through that. How do we know scientific claims are true? All kinds of things. How would I know that, when my wife tells me that she's not cheating on me, that's true? I mean, all kinds of things. I want them to think about how they know what they know. And really what I'm trying to help them do is reflect on their own epistemology. Because when it comes down to determining whether or not Christianity is true or Mormonism is true, they're going to fall back on the testimony, the burning in the bosom, the experience with God to be the ultimate confirmation for whether or not Mormonism is true. And I'm going to want to question that. I'm going to want to open them up to other ways of knowing whether or not their claims about Joseph Smith or the Book of Mormon are true or not. So that's the step I would take with the Mormon, is getting them to think about how they know what is true, and then ultimately helping them see the inconsistencies between how they know Mormonism is true and then all these other ways that they know other things to be true, and eventually point them to all the ways that God has given us to know truth, whether it's through our own, through reason, through evidence, through revelation in the Word of God. All these kind of things are going to help us to determine, ultimately at the end of the day, that Mormonism is actually false.